Welcome, Speech 1315 students. My name is Lisa McNeil, and I'm your professor for this semester. I'm a tenured professor. I've been working at EPCC for, gosh, it's been 20 years. So, and of course, like many of you, probably normally I teach the face-to-face classes, but of course, because of the ongoing pandemic, here we are with online learning. So, let me start off then. I wish I could take roll like I always do and give you a shout out, so by name, but shout out to y'all anyway. Hopefully I'll learn your names as we go along the semester. I will be providing some video lectures for you like this one that will be of course uploaded to Blackboard, but we also will have some live meetings. I still call them Zoom meetings, but the college may prefer for us to use Microsoft Teams or Blackboard Collaborate. I'll keep you posted as that goes on. But it's kind of weird because the classes do not have any set days and times. Like normally you'd be looking, oh my God, Speech 1315, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 10. But it's not set up that way because of the pandemic. I think the college is feeling as they're trying to make it as flexible as possible. So that way you can watch the lectures and to do your assignments and all of that at the times that work for you. I mean, you'll still have deadlines, of course, to turn things in. But that because, of course, some people, I mean, my son is doing online learning at the high school. Some of you you may be parents, you have little kids, so you're doing the same thing, or perhaps you still live at home and you have siblings and everybody's on the computers and doing all kinds of things. So anyway, that's one of the things that's going to be a little bit different about this course. But nonetheless, let's go over the Speech 1315. You should have your syllabus now when you go into Blackboard. On the left, well, it's going to be your left. As you're looking at your screen, it's going to be on your left, and you'll see a tab that says Syllabus and Course Information, and you can click on that and you can look at the syllabus. That's there for you. And then, of course, there's going to be another tab that says Lectures, and you can click on that, and that's where, of course, I'll load in the lectures and whatnot. So in Blackboard, when you go to your course, that left-hand black box has all your tabs, and you can click. So, and I'm in the process of creating all of those. But you all are kind of looking out, right? How many of you were excited when you saw that you had to take Speech 1315 to graduate, right? Lots of people excited. And of course, I always ask people in my face-to-face, so were you leaping with joy that you saw that to graduate, you had to take this class and you had to get up in front of everyone and make a total fool out of yourself? I mean, share with us your brilliance, your knowledge, your insights into life in front of a live audience. Well, you guys kind of luck out because you don't have to do that. You don't have to stand in front of the class this semester and give the speech. You're going to be videoing your speeches, and you'll see how, well, I'll explain to you how to post them to YouTube and send me the link. And then also we'll probably set up a situation where certain people can view your speech, certain classmates can view your speech, and then you get some feedback. So you're still going to have some feedback, but you're not going to be in front of a group of 28 people. So if there's a silver lining to this situation, this pandemic, for you, that might be it. I may still have you maybe have a couple of your relatives or something there so you get the sense of a live audience, but we'll see. Okay, we'll see. The point is, in Speech 1315, you're going to learn how to put together a speech. So you're going to learn the organization, because there are some tricks. There are some tricks for getting the attention of your audience and that kind of thing. And then also organization, and you're going to see that the organization, if I can talk, speech teacher here, or the organization of a speech is very similar to an English essay, but there are some differences because remember, in English class, you're writing for a reading audience, but when you give a speech, you're writing for a listening audience. So it's audience analysis. So it's a little bit different and in terms of the language you use and everything else. So you'll be learning that. And most importantly of all, hopefully, I'm hoping that this format is going to give us the opportunity for you to really work on your oral delivery, because that's what I'm seeing that students really need to work on is their oral delivery and talking to the audience, right? Not just reading your paper, blah, 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 and you're afraid to look up or anything or have any emotional expression. So that's one of the other main goals of the course. So you'll learn the organization of a speech, but also delivery. How do you deliver a speech so it's not so boring? So you have some vocal variety, you have some facial expression and all that kind of thing. So those are the main goals. You can look over the part 2. I loaded it, I can't remember now, in announcements or course messages. You can also find it on the EPCC website, but that too goes through the college's requirements for the course. But I just summarized it. And also learning how to be a good listener because that's very difficult, right? You're sitting there listening to someone's speech. How do you assess it? How do you decide if this is a good speech, if it's backed up with facts? And oh my lordy, we're in an election year, right? Very divisive, lots of civil unrest going on right now, in the middle of a pandemic, all kinds of things happening. And so being able to listen to these candidate speeches and kind of know what to listen for. What's their agenda? How are they structuring their speech to persuade you, to have an impact on you? What sort of rhetorical techniques are they using? So we're going to cover a little bit of that too and touch on that as well. And of course, vote, register to vote if you haven't already, no matter which side you're on. It's very important to exercise your right to vote, because that's when people think their vote doesn't count, but it really does. All those votes add up, and that's how it works. So anyway, thought I would throw that in there. What else do you need to know? So again, there's no set days and times, but at the beginning of the week, check your announcements, and I will usually be telling you, hey, I'm going to have a live question and answer this week. I'll click on this tab, your assignment's there now. So really check those announcements, etc. Your book, okay, and that's me, by the way, on the syllabus, Lisa McNeil. So when you pull this up, I'm, again, Lisa McNeil, Associate Professor of Speech. As I probably said before, I'm tenured. There's my phone number. You probably don't have to worry about coming to my office, but nonetheless, these are my office hours, but I'm going to be checking your emails and whatnot. The required text and materials. Here it is. It's a pocket guide to public speaking by Dan O'Hare, Hannah Rubenstein, and Rob Stewart. This happens to be the 6th edition. Now, some people have already ordered this in the bookstore. There's shipping delays. I don't know what's going on. Listen, don't panic. We're probably not going to need the book for another couple weeks. Okay, next week we're going to be taking that handout, and thank you to all of you who went ahead and sent it in or asked me how to fill it out or whatever. Good for you, way to take the initiative. But what you're actually going to be doing, if you didn't, don't worry, because what you're actually going to be doing with that handout is you're going to be applying it to your first speech. You're going to learn how to do a speech of introduction. Okay, and you're going to use that information from the handout to introduce yourself. And I have my own handouts and that kind of thing. So you won't need the book. You'll have plenty of information on my handout and my lecture on how to do that first speech. So that's that, but get a look. Electronic copies of this, of course, are fine. Even if you got an earlier edition, like a 5th edition, that'll work too. And this is, you'll notice, it's a pretty small little book. It used to run only $20. Of course, that was a long time ago. I think it runs $40 or something. It's ridiculous. They change a few chapters around and update the examples and raise the price $10, like every 3 to 4 years. But anyway, there's your book. Like I said, 5th edition would probably be fine too, but this is the 6th edition. We will be using it. The chapters are nice. The examples are good. They have little checklist boxes. But again, you won't need this for probably another couple weeks. So that's the book. What else? You do need some index cards, unless I would still recommend index cards unless you want to memorize it, but we're not. That's a whole different story when we talk about delivery. So just small little note cards when we talk about extemporaneous delivery, where you put an outline of your outline on your note cards, and then you do what's called extemporaneous delivery. Notes from an outline, which is basically what I'm doing here. I have this, but I'm talking to you. I don't have it memorized word for word. It's learned. It's learned. But in any case, index cards. And then you do need access or the ability, right, to, of course, access Blackboard and download videos and get the material, download handouts, submit your papers. You need to learn that Blackboard platform. And listen, I had to learn it. I was not happy. But once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. So if you're a student, call IT. Okay, call IT, get them to help you. I will also be posting some numbers and platforms and whatnot that you can go to that'll help you out. But you need that. You also need the ability to record yourself, okay? Because instead of doing your speeches live, you're going to be recording them and then uploading them to YouTube. Don't panic unless you want to be a YouTube star. You never know. But you can upload them to YouTube, but you can keep it private, right? Your privacy is totally maintained. And then you send me the link and we're able to access it, or I'm able to access it through that link, okay? And then nobody else has to know the link. Are you with me? Except for maybe a couple of students, because I do want you all to critique each other. And you'll see how that works later. We're going to kind of take this week by week class because we're here in unusual circumstances. So deep breath, right? So don't panic. Just take it a step at a time. So those are really the only things you need. The grading, the course requirements are the grading scale. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, 0 to 59% is an F. It's kind of standard. Now, you'll notice that your grade is based on 1,000 points, and you can look at those grades. You'll notice that most of it is your speeches. There's a speech, which is your oral part, okay, your oral presentation, and then there's an outline. It's the written part that goes with that. Okay, so you get 2 grades on that. And you'll notice those are really your main grades. There's only a TED Talk summary and I think it's ethical questions. So my point to you is this. If you're like, where's the test? The speeches are the tests. That's the main goal of the course. So the speeches are the tests. That's how you need to think of it, okay? And of course you can see that, and if you have any questions, and of course each assignment is worth 100 points, 200 points. It all adds up to 1,000. It gets converted back to the 100-point scale. All you have to do is say you made 895 points at the end of the semester. You divide it by 1,000, or you just move the decimal point and you get 89.5. And I do follow rounding rules, so then that would be a 90, right, for the semester. So that's how you do that. And of course, if you have any questions, just ask me as we go, or email me, ask me as we go along. And let's see, evaluation is based on preparation, effort, and improvement, not whether you're the best speaker in the whole world. Late work, typically it's 10 points off per day it's late, but notify me prior, because everybody's dealing with internet connections, technology. One of the reasons you're getting this on Friday, my laptop crashed like on Sunday, so I was not too pleased. But anyway, and my husband's computer doesn't have a camera. So, but I have my new computer now, so I'm happy, my new laptop. Anyway, so typically it's 10 points off per day, but if you just blow it off and then I hear from you like 2 weeks later, I don't know, you want to notify me of issues that you're having prior to the due date, or, a few hours before the time. And then I will, at my discretion, decide whether or not you have that 10-point penalty. I'll do that on a case-by-case basis. Okay, because I know there are extenuating circumstances this semester, but at the same time, we still need to adhere to these due dates so you don't get too far behind, and I don't get too far behind. And okay, that's pretty much it. The other thing is, by the way, since the college is not requiring the classes to be at certain days and certain times, again, I may tell you, hey, I'm going to have an interactive, live lecture. Here's the link. And maybe you can't go to it, maybe you're helping your kids at school or your little brothers and sisters on their online learning platform. Maybe you have one computer. I don't know. Then don't worry, because I'm going to record those sessions and upload them to Blackboard. So we're not dealing with attendance, because my dean and my coordinator even said we really can't require you to attend any live session. That's the whole idea behind making it flexible. There will be a drop date coming up later in the semester. Just be aware that if for some reason you've blown off all these assignments, right? You've stopped participating, then you need to communicate with me, because if it's too far gone for you to catch up, or you haven't notified me prior, then we need to talk about you dropping the class. Okay, just keep in mind it's your responsibility to drop the class by that drop date. I do not automatically drop you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And what that means is, if you find out that you're failing a class, then if you drop the class by that drop date, the F doesn't go on your transcript. You get a W instead. Okay, but it does mess with people's financial aid, and so that's why it's your responsibility to drop the class if you realize you're making an F. And communicate. The name of the game is to communicate with me about all of that. And let's see. Again, make sure you stay on top of those speeches. They will be recorded. You're going to receive instructions for how to do that as we go along. Don't panic, but do give yourself plenty of time to upload that video and whatnot. It is a bit time consuming, I can tell you. And I don't see too much. We'll talk about plagiarism a little bit later under ethical speaking, but don't copy something that's not yours and present it as your own. You want to be authentic. Try to pick speech topics that really mean something to you, because if you don't care about your topic, why should we, right? And other policies, please, we're in a crazy, very polarized climate right now, but nonetheless, still respect other people's opinions, even though they're not your own. Okay. And we'll talk more, because hopefully we will have a little bit of discussion a time or two that's live. And EPCC does have a variety of support services, so take advantage of those. You see our core values on the syllabus: communication, competence, integrity, personal growth, respect, student success, and trust. Woo-woo! Communication's the name of the game. So communicate with me. Send me that email or whatever, because this is all we've got, right? So, or you can't really comment. Well, you can't, because then I just pick it up through the email. Communicate. That's the name of the game. Communicate. You also, at the last part of your syllabus, you have some instructions for writing assignments. Please take a look at those. I'll also be going back over that format when I give you the actual assignment, because stay tuned next week. That's what we're going to be covering. We're going to be talking about what a speech of introduction is and how to do it. And then you're going to write it out using that handout, the notes about me, and you're going to videotape your first speech, and we'll hopefully get to know you. So, because that would be good. That one I would like for us to view. So we'll figure it out. It's either going to be pre-recorded, or they'll all be recorded, but that's next week, so don't worry about it. And if you have any questions, just let me know. We'll hopefully have some fun. And there's something else, because we also, after we get through the speech of introduction, we jump into communication theory, and that'll be fun. And it really, I think, applies to everything that's going on right now. But keep in mind that I think that more at any other time, that we've walked the earth, that we've walked the planet, we are consumers of messages, right? We hear how we're a consumerist society. We consume goods and services, and we consume resources, etc. But we are consumers of messages. So keep that in mind. And how do you consume messages? Do you just take in everything, that's coming through TikTok and your computer and everything that's popping up in the news and this and that? And maybe we need to be a little bit pickier about how we consume those messages. So think about it. What's your favorite all-you-can-eat buffet? Anybody? Typically people say, like, I don't know, China buffet, Cece's Pizza, I don't know, some of the Golden Corral, some of those other pizza places. So think, what do they typically cost? I don't know, Golden Corral. What is it? $15, $20 maybe? And so you want to get so is this the way you consume that all-you-can-eat buffet? So you want to get your money's worth, right? So you get the big plate and you go down the line and it's going on your plate. You don't care. It's like, I don't know what that is, but it's going on the plate. Says artificial crab meat. Oh, well, I paid for it. That's going on the plate. That looks like it's been sitting out too long, but what the hell? It's going on my plate. So by the end of the all you can eat, you have this, it's all piled up and you sit and you eat and maybe you don't feel so good afterwards because you were not picky at all, right? You wanted to get your money's worth. That's probably not how we as listeners want to consume messages. We don't want to just take them all in because maybe some of those messages are fake, like the artificial crab meat is not really crab meat. It's other types of fish, I've been told, that's made to look like crab and has some food coloring in it, but it's not crab meat. It's fish, okay? It's some other type of fish. So how maybe some are, and maybe you're allergic to gluten and everything you just loaded on your plate, half the stuff you loaded on has gluten. And so you're going to have a bad reaction. So it's the same thing. Maybe we shouldn't consume messages like the all-you-can-eat buffet, right? We need to go back, and hopefully that's what this class will help you do. We're going to go back, and we're going to be a little bit pickier. That looks like it's been sitting out too long. It's old news, okay, or old food. I'm not going to put it on my plate. I really don't want artificial crab meat. I'd prefer real crab meat. Now, this looks good. I'm taking this, and I'm going to take that. Nope, I'm allergic to that. I'm going to take... You get my analogy, class? We are consumers of messages, and rather than just believing everything we hear and taking it all in, because some of the stuff is very negative and it's not good for us, it's not nutritional, we need to look at the messages we're consuming. Are they real? Are the sources real? Where did this information come from? Is it old? Okay, has it been sitting out a while, or is it the brand new research? So these are all some of the things too that we're going to talk about in the course. And hopefully I haven't bored you too much. That's all I've got. I will see you next time. Have a great weekend. And like I said, take a look at the syllabus, etc. See you later, class. Cheers.